And now, from your local election headquarters, the only locally produced political talk show discussing the issues that matter to you. This is Big Country Politics on KTAB.
Well, thanks for being here for this week's edition of Big Country Politics. I'm Victor Sotelo. We start with Abilene news. Mayor Anthony Williams making his State of the City address this last week. KTAB reporter Nathan Grieve was at the Southside Library where the mayor spoke.
Just under a week ago, we heard the State of the Union address. Tonight, we narrowed our scope with the State of the City of Abilene.
Household income is up 21%. Having said all that, we can still do better, and we will do better.
Mayor Williams highlighting the big plans the city has for the year and years ahead, like big changes downtown.
You know, in the last 2 years, we've added around $215 million to the tax roll inside city limits of Abilene. I believe in the next 2.5 years, we'll have over $150 million in new development in downtown Abilene.
And before wrapping up for the night, a special surprise, a newly created award to honor the spirit and memory of Otis Dalton.
We're going to give this award away to a deserving individual that embodies his legacy.
In Abilene, with coverage.
And coming up later on Big Country Politics, we'll hear more from the mayor's speech. And now to our eye on Dyess Air Force Base. Under the new budget proposal by President Trump, 17 B-1B Lancer bombers will be retired. 8 of those are currently at Dyess, the other 9 are at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. That would mean that Dyess could lose as many as 30 military personnel. Air Force Global Strike Commander General Tim Ray and former 7th Bomb Wing Commander at Dyess Air Force Base explained in a statement to KTAB that continuous operations over the last 20 years have taken a toll on the jet bomber's airframe structure, completing missions it was not designed to do. Here's more from Congressman Jody Arrington on why this decision was made and what lies ahead for Dyess.
The President just came out with his 2021 budget proposal, which includes the Department of Defense and the Air Force. In his proposal, he has a reduction in bombers by about 17, B-1 bombers specifically. Now, the history of this is over the last year or so, there have been major safety, mechanical, and structural issues with the B-1 bomber. So the Air Force has been conducting a conditions review and analysis on how much it would cost, what are the structural issues, and sort of the game plan going forward. Based on those analyses and that review, they've come up with the number 17, and they've said that A, it would compromise our mission, B, it would compromise the safety of our airmen. So I would tell you that some sort of backdrop and the driving force behind the structural problems are the fact that, number one, 80% of the bomber fleet of the B-1s have been flown beyond their certified life cycle. Number two, they've been overflown recently. The B-1 is a critical component of our air arsenal. And they've been used in the fight against terror. They've been used to deter North Korea, among other of our adversaries. And because they've been overflown and because they've been flown in a way that really stresses the plane, they have some structural integrity issues. And so for me, representing the big country in Dyess, I want to lay eyes on this conditions report. I'm going to do my own due diligence. I've been talking with the senior leadership of the Air Force and the Secretary of the Air Force about these concerns. I think they're legitimate concerns. I think we need to put the safety of the airmen and the integrity of our defense missions first. But there are lots of ways to reprogram and reprioritize resources, and I don't know if that number 17 should be 17, should be 7. That's something that I'm committed to do with the White House and with senior officials at the Pentagon and at the Air Force. But the good news is that the natural life cycle of the B-1 is to be wound down as we ramp up the B-21. This is the good news. The B-21 is the future. The B-21 is the most lethal, the most capable bomber in the world. And we need to be accelerating the drawdown and launching of the B-21 as we wind down the life of the B-1. And it's important that we maintain some capacity to get from here to there. And the Air Force has reiterated that they are committed to Dyess as the B-21 Bomber Base, Operational Testing Facility, Weapons School. They are committed to the B-1. They're committed to Dyess, and they're committed to the least disruption on the base operations and personnel possible. So we'll be working hand in hand to go over these details in the future, but I wanted to report to my friends in the big country and community of Abilene and at Dyess that this is something that we've been talking through with the Air Force for some time. And again, the future's bright for the B-21 flying out of Dyess in the big country, and we need to make sure we have the least disruption to the base and the capacity to get from here to there while ensuring that our airmen are safe and ensuring that we have the strongest aircraft and air arsenal for the defense of our nation as a whole. So thank you for letting me report to you on the President's budget proposal as I work with the administration and my colleagues in Congress to come up with the final budget, which Congress will establish because we have the power of the purse. I will report back at that time. Thank you. God bless and go West Texas.
And still to come on Big Country Politics, we're taking a look at the mayor's State of the City address, how 2019 was and what's ahead for 2020. We're back in 2 minutes.